YouTube only cares about one thing, and it's disgusting.
Disgusting!
It's no secret. The entire internet runs on advertising. I covered this point extensively in one of my previous videos. It's basically the reason why the job title YouTuber, or more broadly, social media influencer, even exists.
Being broke is a mindset.
I feel like in the past, platforms occasionally at least made some kind of vague attempt to give the illusion to users and creators that their experience was important. But with the release of YouTube's latest policy update, they aren't even trying anymore, and basically all of the pretense has been dropped. As I'm recording this in early 2023, updates are being made to YouTube's algorithm that focus on penalizing the use of profanity and disturbing imagery in videos published to the platform. The new rules are pretty draconian, with videos being demonetized if any profanity occurs at all in the opening seconds of the video. These changes are being applied retroactively, so videos made as far back as 2016 are going to be affected. And this has resulted in many creators effectively losing their livelihoods overnight without any warning. I want to be totally clear here and say that I'm completely and unequivocally opposed to the spreading of violent imagery and hate speech on any platform. But these changes basically amount to censorship without any consultation with creators or the audience. Admittedly, I'm not even a microorganism in the YouTube ecosystem, but these changes will drastically influence the content that all creators are going to develop, including myself. And the first time I heard about this was from Charlie's video on this. No emails from YouTube, no nothing. How come I can receive multiple emails telling me that I get to pick my channel handle, but they won't inform me that massive changes are coming to the algorithm that will fundamentally affect the creator economy? Charlie's own YouTube relationship manager didn't know about these changes when he raised these concerns.
And even my YouTube contact wasn't aware of this until I brought it up and he did digging on his end.
How come their own employees don't know about this? I feel that these changes are totally unnecessary from the viewer perspective. As an adult, you have agency to view the content you want to watch on the platform, right? If you're offended by someone's use of language, you can just choose not to watch it. Simple as that. On top of this, YouTube already has mechanisms in place to protect viewers from more explicit content. If a video is too spicy,
that's a spicy meatball!
It gets age restricted, so the extent to which it's disseminated by the algorithm is limited. And we can go a step further here with YouTube Kids. This exists and is specifically designed to protect children from unsavory content, and it imposes very strict rules on what can and can't be shown in videos made for kids. And finally, if offensive content is able to slip past all of these barriers, it can be reported and taken down. Look, we can argue about the effectiveness of all of these different tools and mechanisms, but it's important to note that these things are already in place. All of this leads me to why all of this is being done in the first place. And as I alluded to in the beginning of the video, it's all because of advertising. Advertisers want their brands to be associated with certain kinds of behavior, and YouTube wants to get as many advertisers on board as they can. It just equals more income, plain and simple. YouTube's strategy is the old carrot versus stick approach, and they have absolutely chosen the stick here.
Barry!
Penalize content creators that don't fit their advertisers' idea of acceptable until they change their behavior. They don't care about how creators will react because they have a monopoly on long-form content. Where else will the creators go? Given what I've mentioned above on the pre-existing content moderation framework, along with the slump in advertising revenue that's been experienced by big tech across the board over the past year, and the fact that the major emphasis on censorship occurs in the first few seconds of the video, which I will remind you is just after the opening ads have finished, where the most number of eyes are on the video. It's really not hard to weave a pretty compelling narrative that supports the fact that this new policy has nothing to do with viewers' well-being whatsoever. On top of all of this, the implementation has been an absolute disaster. The number of creators that have had portions of their catalog demonetized when none of the videos even met the criteria mentioned by YouTube in the policy update is actually pretty astonishing. How can massive mistakes like this happen? Was there no testing on the changes to the algorithm? No pilot programs run on real-world samples? I used to work in tech, And mistakes do happen, right? But if things went this badly, you'd be fired so fast that your head would spin. How come YouTube can get away with it? And once again, it's because they have no competition. Why offer a better service if there's nowhere else for people to go?
Why?
I'm going to be real here for a second, right? I never really intended for my channel to be a place for dunking on platforms or tracking various scandals like the established titles issue from a couple of weeks back or all the concerns around AI. I really want it to be a place for discussions around creativity and music and art to just flourish, right? And I'm definitely going to continue focusing on that going forwards, but I do think that spreading stories like this really matters, as these things affect everyone from users to creators. And the more people that know about the issues mean the more discussions can happen. The more discussions that can happen, hopefully the more we can affect positive change. Even though YouTube is prioritizing the desires of advertisers above all else, ultimately it's the viewers that have the final say. If there are no viewers to watch the ads, there's no business. I also feel like I have a duty to spread this type of information, as YouTube is notorious for limiting the spread of topics that it just doesn't approve of. All in all, I just want to suggest to creators that are concerned about being affected by this, start looking to diversify your revenue streams, obviously without exploiting your audience, and hopefully with enough pushback, these changes will be rolled back and the issues can be dealt with in a more equitable way.
Moral is, don't be a